Um, hey, my name is Justin Seo, and
Jaekwang Seo.
so we're here to present Horizon, our Stackathon project. I guess maybe to start with the premise of the project, we began with the idea that news is kind of difficult to parse through, isn't it? Having hundreds of thousands of articles to go through every single day to just simply get a glance of what's happening in the world. But what if we didn't have to deal with all those words? Just a couple, maybe, or just a couple of pictures. So we came up with the idea of maybe scraping the entire, not the entire web per se, but a couple of news websites and taking a compilation of all of those, all the words in those articles, and basically rendering it in a visual form of that particular data. We classified each visualization by company. And I'm just going to give you a quick demo of our app to show you what exactly it's like. So take Apple, for example. We basically pulled everything from the last, I think it was 72 hours, or from the news from New York Times. We pulled it from the API. And then we compiled all the different words and did a word frequency count. All the words that are most frequent came up on this word cloud. For example, WikiLeaks seems to be a central theme to news at Apple nowadays. ExxonMobil, similarly. Rex Tillerson, Vladimir. I know Vladimir Putin is on here somewhere. That seems to be a central theme of ExxonMobil nowadays. And so this sort of idea where we can basically render what exactly is in the news onto this sort of picture, this much more easy to read picture, we think that brings an entirely different view on news. But before we sort of get into what exactly we have to improve on our product, Jason will go a little bit into the backend, how exactly we did this.
Sure. So our backend pulls articles from New York Times through its API and pick the trending companies based on the article hits, and then basically it parses the article or the article summaries, and then removes stop words, punctuations, anything that's unnecessary for our visuals, and then calculates the word frequency. Then we push that data into our data store. We're using Elasticsearch for that, and then our backend server serves the data by making requests to our data store. So that's how the data gets from backend to the front end.
Absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, and I think we are very happy with what we can see so far. There's some very funny data sets, particularly with certain companies, but at the same time, I think there's definitely room to improve. If we take a look at the API, we're only allowed about 5 polls per second, 1,000 polls per day. That means we can't pull as many articles as we want, and we ran into a ton of trouble there. We caused a lot of asynchronous issues and a lot of promise chaining, which ended up being quite taxing computationally. So in the future, I think what we're going to do is just build a web scraper, scrape the entire website, and maybe not take from a New York Times, take from a Bloomberg or a Reuters straight from the source, excuse me, and then just be able to compile all the data from there. Second, we initially wanted to show sentiment, right? So like, what is the sentiment around this particular company or around this particular piece of news? And I think a long way to getting to that particular goal would be to put the stock graph on there and sort of let the consumer let you guys sort of be able to make that decision yourselves. So the stock graph, is it going up or down? And these words, do they hold a negative positive connotation, and how are they aligned together? And so it's, like I said, makes it much easier for the consumer to read. And third, we want to make this dynamic. Right now, it's very static. We have to refresh the server every time. But we want to eventually make it so that it works on a 24-hour basis. As soon as a new day comes around, the clock goes around, it'll be able to pull on its own and give you a fresh set of data, fresh page of news. And so that's sort of our goal, and we hope to actually proceed with this and maybe get a finished product within the next couple months or so, or month hopefully. So,
Yeah.
Thanks guys.
Thank you.